Hello, everyone. I am Ilze Czubora. I'm your Banting coach, and today I'm bringing you an amazing guest to have a chat with. My guest believes research in healthcare needs better funding and strong minds. Since joining in 2015, she has grown the Noakes Foundation into one of the key research funders in South Africa, an entity that is changing the way the nation eats. As the Chief Operating Officer of the Noakes Foundation, she established Eat Better South Africa alongside inspiring colleagues and Professor Noakes. Most recently, she was appointed the Managing Director of the Nutrition Network, where she has taken the lead in the process and creation of this educational and new network platform founded by the Noakes Foundation in partnership with an esteemed team of doctors and scientists. She is also a movement medical teacher, a mind-body medicine practitioner, and a mom. So thank you so much. Welcome. Please welcome Jayne Bullen from the Noakes Foundation. And thank you so much, Jayne, for taking the time to come and speak with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Jayne, I'm going to start with a question it's a general question, but your day-to-day responsibilities, what are those?
So I head up the group that is made up of 3 different divisions, in effect. And the one is the Noakes Foundation. The other is our more charitable branch of the Noakes Foundation, which is Eat Better South Africa. And then the other aspect of the work we do is called the Nutrition Network, which is the e-learning training platform. So quite a broad variety of tasks and things that I look on and work on. And the most important part of my day today is that I get to work with the most incredible people. So there's many of the team members that you know are incredible, competent, inspired, passionate human beings, and the board that I sit on from the Nutrition Network side and work very closely with on the Noakes Foundation side, both boards are just incredibly inspired human beings as well. So most of the time it's working with people and figuring out solutions to challenges that come up. Yeah.
And working with amazing people. I think that is the point I'm the most jealous about. It's just being among these amazing minds that we have here in South Africa constantly, all the time. Yeah.
But I think to add to that, obviously, it's people like you and the many, many people that we work with as partners that also contribute to that incredible experience. So it's like we kind of all find each other in some way.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, okay. So those are a little bit about what you do. And I think it's incredible. 3 huge, and they really are. They're making huge impact in people's lives. Those 3 entities are amazing. Some of my viewers basically know that I'm doing the Nutrition Network or courses as well. I'm an affiliate of the Eat Better South Africa as well. And well, Tim Noakes, the Noakes Foundation, if that didn't exist, then I would not have been where I am today. So for such an amazing background, what attracted you to the Noakes Foundation?
Sure. I've been in corporate environments for almost 20 years, and I was just desperate to do work that gave back. I was so tired of kind of profit-driven focus that didn't integrate cause in any way. I think I was just at the point of no return, to be honest, and I made a really clear commitment to myself that whatever my next career move was going to be, it was going to be something where I could bring all of myself into it. So that was like the truth of who I am and what I believe in, and the fact that I'm a mother and an integrated human, so that I wouldn't have to kind of, let go of who I was every day that I walked into the office and kind of shield myself up in a suit and then, operate in that way. So it was very much from a commitment to live a different life. And I'm very, very inspired by a couple of people like Anita Roddick, who founded The Body Shop, and a couple of other business leaders that really have found ways to integrate profits and principle. So that's always been my life purpose. And I hadn't found it in the corporate world. So that was when I found and met Tim Noakes and Travis Noakes. And at that time, they were working closely with the Real Meal Revolution, and we all got on, and it was like an obvious shared vision. So it started there.
That's it. Yeah. Yes, that is amazing. That it's if I look at my own life as well, I started off with corporate printing and T-shirt and that rat race, and we hated it. It was good money, obviously, but like you say, I think once you add a bit of passion to your work, it becomes fun, and it becomes something you can actually chase. This is what you want to do. Yeah. So once people can get to that place. I think for some it takes longer, for others it's quick, like Jana.
Yeah.
But for some of us, it takes a long time to realize this is our passion. And then, this is basically where my passion came from as well, is losing the weight, seeing how incredibly my family changed. Our son was 11 at the time, lost 30 kilos, and this kid just boomed. He was learning again, he was running again, he was happy again. So...
Your story is really amazing and inspiring. It's incredible.
And it's because of you guys. So I think it's important that you also know that the difference that you make. But I'm pretty sure you guys see that every day. So
thank you. Yeah, that's the thing about this work is it's the continuous positive feedback from people that drives us to keep doing it, because it is extremely challenging at times. We're growing up a lot of the time against old ancient systems and traditions and ways that things are done policy-wise. And there's a lot of days where it's like, is this actually worth the trauma and the effort that it takes? And all we have to do is look and talk to people like you and hear the many, many stories to, of course, 100% make it clear that it is worth it.
Yes. Yeah. I've got a few clients as well. So I've got one in particular. I'd love to name her, but she is very shy. My dear friend and client that started, we actually have our 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
And she has not only lost 34 kilos. It's very slow, but 34 kilos from 195 kilos. She's also off her insulin, her most of her diabetic medication, her blood pressure medication. She's off ulcer, stomach problems, major stomach problems. She's off those medication. She was immobile when I started working with her. She is now not walking with her little trolley or with a crutch. She's walking by herself. This is absolutely amazing to see someone change like that. It's incredible. She's got neuropathy. It is, but she's got neuropathy in her legs and her feet. And she's actually starting to feel tingly. She's starting to feel in those feet. That is incredible. You don't hear of that. You don't hear this happening.
But this is the whole thing about it, is it's such ancient knowledge and wisdom, which is what we've always known, is that the body knows how to heal itself. And
if given a chance.
Is going to help that. It's such simple work that we actually do. And that's why it's so important. It's giving people an opportunity to have their lives back and to empower themselves again.
To empower themselves again. That I think is the biggest take away from our story again as well. It's the power that we got back for ourselves. You feel at 39, I felt like I was 60, 70 years old. I was done for. Knees was done. Hands wasn't working. My stomach was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I am healthy. My brain works a little bit better. My fingers work. I always brag about my fingers working because I could not use my fingers anymore, and they are well oiled and they work. That is incredible changes in someone's life. So turning 40 was a pleasure. Turning 40 was an absolute pleasure. I'm so proud of you, 40 for this year.
Amazing story. Wow.
Huge difference. So yeah, I would actually like to find out from you, what exactly is a movement medicine teacher and a mind-body medicine practitioner? Would you tell us more about that, please?
So mind-body medicine is a very ancient, simple principle that's about the fact that the mind and the body integrated and working together are the medicine. And it's an incredible training that I did in the USA a couple of years ago, run by a famous psychiatrist called Dr. James Gordon. And it's a little bit like discovering LCHF. It's just the simplest of incredible process work where you support each other in groups and working together in and it's very hard to explain, but it's an incredible training that I've been on. I'm for both mind-body medicine and movement medicine. I'm an apprentice still, so I'm still on the quite long journey. Movement medicine is a form of conscious dance, and it's based on the principle that movement is medicine. So the body knows how to heal itself. It knows that through movements it can move through anything, and I've always loved dancing. It's been my thing, and it started when I was a teenager. I used to go to trance parties, and eventually kind of later on when I particularly stopped drinking, I had to find a form of dance that allowed me to actually just celebrate the joy in life without a drug and alcohol-free environment. And I found this conscious dance community and space that celebrated that. So I went on quite a long path. I founded the school, or I brought the school to South Africa. Quite a lot of people have trained now in Southern Africa and become teachers, and it's a growing movement, but it's all part of the same picture. Food is medicine, movement is medicine, and the mind and body connected are medicine. So all part of kind of the same thread in my life, which has been about going back to the basics, back to movement, back to the breath, back to the simplest of things that heal.
Yeah, it's amazing to see when someone has had a life-changing event like that, when it comes to the food, then all of a sudden there's mind movement, and there's this and that, all these incredibly healing things that comes out of the woodworks. Because I myself also found TRE, and I found QEC, and I found all these things as well. That's, like you say, it's got to do with the mind and the body and movement. And well, what we basically do is we shake off stress, but I think it's got the same concept. It's still letting the body heal through movement, not movement. Like, I just want my viewers to understand, this isn't exercise.
Although it can be well, not
it can be. It can be, but the aim of the game is not to exercise. It's to let go of all the stress and be able to breathe. And when you breathe, you get oxygen, and when you get oxygen, your body here, all this stuff is connected. And of course, letting go of things, allowing the mind to let go of things. Because I think as women we tend to hold on to things. Very guilty of that one.
And I think that is for particularly mind-body movement, mind-body medicine. It's such an important piece for me, because what Dr. Gordon talks about a lot is how you have to heal trauma before you can heal the body. So, and he says no diet will work if there's trauma in the body. It holds on to it. So it was an important piece of work for me. I'd been through some trauma. Most South Africans have, most women that I know have in some area of their lives. We live in a very traumatized field. And what we've learned over the time with Eat Better South Africa as well is that we have to integrate that part of it. There has to be support for people on an emotional level, on a sort of trauma release level, and also on a sort of more psychological level, because a lot of people have severe carbohydrates or sugar addictions, and unless we look at that carefully and support them through that, they do fall back. It's the obvious process that happens. So we started off in the old days following a very, very strict, which Tim Noakes follows, and I've told him so many times, he has the most self-discipline of anyone I've ever met in my life. He's run, I think it was 18 comrades. So he just went he read the science, and he said, this is what's going to heal me. And he went on to 20 grams of carbs a day, and within 2 years he had reversed his diabetes. But of course, not everyone is as disciplined as him. They don't have the toolkit. They don't have Marilyn, his beautiful wife, that makes beautiful, healthy food for him from home. So there's so many other aspects that we had to look at as we grew the way that we were trying to change the way people eat.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there, because I deal with people all day, every day as well. And for myself, we did the Banting thing. We lost the weight, and everything was lekker, and it was so cool. And then boom, I didn't fall off the bus. I cannot fall off the bus because I'm extremely gluten intolerant. That means throwing up 5 days, lying in bed with stomach cramps. It hits me. It knocks me right out. So I'm very, very strict when it comes to sugar and gluten. But I do tend to overeat, and overeating comes with the whole emotional thing. And yeah, you have to look at the emotional, but like you say, it sits, the trauma and the pain sits in your muscles, it sits in your organs, it doesn't forget. You get over it, but your body never forgets. You have to give it that chance to let go. So absolutely agree with you on that one. Yeah. So Jayne, tell me, do you have a personal Banting story?
Yes. So I mean, what I've just what I've definitely ties into that. So when I first got the science, I went into the extreme banter category, and I spent 2 years there where I was under 20 grams of carbs a day. I was religious about it, and I was eliminating everything from my diet. So I went very far in, and I wasn't seeing the results. And eventually I changed what I was doing, and I started to look at, stress, look at trauma, look at sleep, included more carbs into my diet. So it didn't work for me to be extreme, which I know is the case for some women, but not all of them. And been through a journey with it, like everyone has in their own way. So what I know for myself is that I have to work on my sleep, my stress levels, and the whole integrated story. It's not enough for me to just cut the carbs. So ongoing work in progress, like so many of us are.
Yes, but and it's ongoing. It's ongoing, and you've got to maintain. Even your mental health. Once you've let go of some stuff, you've got to maintain that. It doesn't just go away now; it's gone. It's something you've got to maintain. And this is something else our viewers have to understand as well. That your diet, the way you eat, the way you think about food is a constant maintenance. You've got to constantly. I'm not saying be like a Banting freak or something like that, but it's maintenance. You can't. You don't slack off. In other words, now grab a cake today and hunt on again. You've got to keep maintaining how you think of it and your mindset as well. Like with this lockdown thing now, my whole family, we're okay, but we feel the strain. We're definitely feeling the strain. We're eating more, and I'm assuming it's because of either boredom or the stress of being locked up. I was never a hugger, but I think I'm turning into a hugger. Yeah. I just want to hug someone.
I think most people are focusing more on food and looking forward to their meals more. And we've been spending a lot more on groceries than we normally do. And we've been trying to work out why. And when we look through, we've realized we've been sort of comfort spending, buying ourselves more treats, spending, which is lovely, but it's also kind of, it's time for it to end and for us to shift more back to other aspects of life again. But it's beautiful to just recognize that food does offer a sense of emotional comfort and support, and in moderation, in a healthy way, it's okay to receive that, and to allow it to support you, and in a way that makes the healthy choices. I think that's good to recognize, rather than to beat oneself up incredibly about, it's not necessary to have the bowl of ice cream, but if you can just have a spoon or have a bowl of low carb ice cream and still be comfortable with that, provided it's compromising your health, then that's great. To allow that is fine as well. It's a very difficult time that we're in at the moment. It's really, really extreme times.
That's it. This is where if you're in Sunine, our viewers, if you're in Sunine, buy my ice cream. It's low carb. It's sugar-free, gluten-free.
Yeah, but that is so good to know.
One day I'll get some to you guys as well, because Jana also wants to
eating healthy food. So we don't encourage eating things like ice cream and comfort eating. But a friend of mine that owns an ice cream shop brought me a liter of Banting ice cream at the beginning of lockdown, and I stretched it out. I finished it a few days ago. I was having like a special day, but it was honestly so divine that she just thought of that, gave it to me, and it was such a beautiful thing, so it's so lovely to offer those kinds of substitutes for people when they're struggling to make the transition. And that's what many of our affiliates do, is they support people to get off carbs in a way that helps them.
Yeah, without cutting you off completely. It's an emotional thing. It's like a best friend you're losing. You can't do that to a child, and you can't do that to an adult either. So I've got I've got cappuccino ice cream, chocolate ice cream, vanilla, and then there's another one. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, it's clean. Keto. I get my ingredients local. I try and support local as well, and it's fresher, and it's a lot better for you as well. I believe we should do local as much as we can, and my clients love it. They absolutely love it. I've got the few weeks that I didn't make. I actually had clients, please make me some, because they need it now, and so next week I can start making again.
That's as long as it's helping them not to go and eat their tub of whatever it's called, whatever those brands are called that are full of vegetable oils and sugar, and offering them that support. I think that's what's really important about substitute foods. And of course, we say like over time, the idea is to completely get rid of that sweet tooth. And to completely move on to foods that aren't substitutes, but at the same time offering that bridge. So we had in Eat Better South Africa, we were visiting Delft, which is a community in the Cape Flats, and we were giving our typical sugar talk where we scare the hell out of everyone about how much sugar they're eating. One woman at the end, then we asked questions. This is a couple of years ago, and one woman said she drinks 8 liters of Coca-Cola a day, and how did she stop? And this is now not that's firstly quite a lot of money, I'm imagining. I don't know how much Coca-Cola costs because I don't buy it, but she was drinking 8 liters a day, and she didn't have, remarkably, she was overweight, but she didn't have diabetes. I'm not sure how. And we could never take someone like that and take away all her Coca-Cola, because it would be way more than she'd be able to cope with as an adjustment. So in a case like hers, of course, we would support her to switch, half of that could be Diet Coke, and then later on water, and find ways. And that's why we call it Eat Better, not Eat Perfect. And it's finding creative ways to get people off the junk that they're eating. So to take them from there to there without expecting them to go the whole way in one day, it's how do we take these steps as a nation towards getting people to eat better in a practical way?
Yeah, I love that. Eat better, not perfect. Eat better. That's amazing. I think it connects with a lot more people as well. Instead of like we were talking earlier about women expecting perfection or trying to do everything perfectly, let it go just a little bit. I have clients that stick with Banting, absolutely stick with it, but it's because they enjoy it, and they're quite happy to do it. Then I let them go. I let them do that. But otherwise, I find alternative for your lasagna, because my house is a lasagna paradise. We used to eat so much lasagna, it's not even funny. So of course I had to find a way to replace that lasagna, because they would not walk past a lasagna. My husband makes son. No way. So now I make a lasagna, and it is delicious. It's absolutely amazing. And it's completely Banting. Actually, it's very, very low carb. So okay. So
it's very difficult. It's very difficult to take. It's a long journey, and we always thought it would be quick, and we were very purist about it in the beginning, which is kind of what the Noakes Foundation still tries to do. Is it tries to advocate for that really strict approach for people that are diabetic, for people that have chronic disease, for treatment of obesity. But there's the range of people beyond that, and in our country, that just have to find other creative solutions, especially at the moment with COVID. So that's a particularly interesting time where people are just not managing to get the fresh foods they could before. They're not affording the quality foods they could get, and we have to find ways to support them through the time in a way that's not absolutely lethal to their health, metabolic health.
That's it. I think also, again, what I see in my clients is you get a certain degree of damage has been done, then your focus has got to be straight and narrow, because this is where you're at. The damage is done if you eat a little bit too much sugar, carbs, in other words, then you have a spike and you feel terrible, and the damage just goes on. But then you have those people who are quite healthy. They're actually relatively healthy, and they can get away with a little bit every now and again. In other words, like you say, just eat better. They don't have to be completely 100% Banting, and they'll see results. but it's just about eating better. But some people, like I said already, with me, I cannot touch gluten. I got to be so careful. So all my vegetables is local. All my meat is local, and it's lekker.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's basically what we do is meat and vegetables. At this point, we can get a lot of eggs, free range eggs. They're not expensive. So we're doing meat and eggs as well. And we try and keep it simple as possible. But my house is gluten-free and sugar-free because of me.
That's amazing.
If the men want something, you go out, you get whatever, and you eat it out, whatever, and you come back home clean. For my health. And they're happy to do it for my health. So again, as a woman, we tend to hide away, but I'm very vocal because of the results I've seen. It makes a difference. Yeah. So yeah, in your opinion, who is Banting and low carb diets for?
Sure. Well, so obviously we would
it's a trick question.
I would argue that it's potentially for everyone. And the problem in the world at the moment is that everyone is eating way more carbohydrates than they should be for human health. But there is, as we've been talking about, there is a range. So there are some people that are okay eating moderate amounts of carbs and they get away with it and they seem to be healthy in that range. So that's why, it's so important to look at the bio-individuality of a person. Yes. Because we have our own lineage, we have our own story, we have our own metabolisms, particularly with women. We're very, very unique and different. But that being said, the broad majority of the population is eating too much sugar. And we just know that when we look at the macro data over time. I mean, we know that human beings were healthy when they were eating, a lower carbohydrate diet. So that's the first thing that needs to happen is the food pyramids and the policies around it need to change. And people generally follow their guidelines. That's the thing. People don't deliberately go out to make themselves sick and to get heart disease and to get obese. No one wants those things. They're mostly following as best they can within their means a good healthy diet. And unfortunately, we don't offer that to people and allow them access to one. It's almost like we're kind of hijacking ourselves by creating food systems and retail environments that make it very difficult to eat a healthy diet and live a healthy life. So I would say almost everyone should be eating less carbs, and a lot of people, probably up to 70% of the population, should be on a lower carb diet.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because we're not talking about just fixing diabetes. We're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about general health here. With studying and getting into this, when we started losing so much weight and feeling so much better, I was terrified to have learned that you don't just get a diabetic and someone with heart disease and someone with this. It's all connected. Yeah. It's all connected. And as far as I can figure out, with learning through what everybody's saying, is if you can determine that you are insulin resistant, something's wrong. You've got to act. And we only act once you've got full-blown diabetes, or you've got fatty liver disease, or you've got heart disease. That's when we act. We should be acting beforehand. That's basically what. Yeah,
and I mean, one of the problems in medicine is the polarization of specialities. So, we do get general practitioners and we get integrated and functional doctors. But beyond that, if you get an illness that's hard to diagnose, you're kind of sent in a rabbit hole of different specialists. And the specialists are also incredibly knowledgeable and specialized in their own areas, but they aren't understanding the full system and the impact that insulin resistance has on it. So that's what we're seeing on the Nutrition Network now, is the unbelievable specialists that are doing our training. Everything from cardiology to obstetrics to an eye surgeon has done it, to veterinarians are doing it, because they're starting to realize that diet is the common denominator. Their patients are coming to them and, they can't believe that their patient has lost 60 kilos. And they do not know how it's possible because it defies medical understanding to a large extent. Endocrinologists don't learn this in medical school. So that's what we're offering is something incredibly simple, but something that's lacking in the formal medical training, which is that integrated approach to nutrition. Yeah. And it's a huge gap in the education system, actually.
It actually is, because if you sit back and you look at the bigger, you've got to step back and look at the bigger picture, like you said, the individual, the whole picture, not just one, because they don't work on their own. They're all integrated and it all works together. It's like taking just my house and fixing the economic state in here, but the rest of the world, hello, it's not going to help. It doesn't help. So yeah,
and
I love the guys that you got on there.
It's beautiful that the public is forcing medicine to change. People like you and, the many people that have had no success with weight loss and with improving their diabetes over decades have now found this, gone kind of renegade, and then gone back to their specialist and said, look at what I've done. And then they've had to change and had to consider new ways of approaching disease that really look at a much more lifestyle-centric approach to things. Yeah. And that's wonderful. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing to think that we might go to our doctor in 10 years' time and leave with a prescription, with a food plan and prescription for dietary medication instead of like pills. Yeah. And it's just a completely different approach to the way human health is considered.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It gives a new way of approaching life again, back to medicine it's been very difficult. And I see that with so many of the doctors that I work with, it's depressing to treat patients when there's no progress and when medication makes them worse and where they're not managing to stick to the diet that they're put on, which is normally a very, very difficult to follow calorie restricted approach.
Following a diet. I went to look. I was 140 kilos at 39 years old. Okay, arthritis, IBS. Okay, I had normal blood pressure because I'm actually naturally have low blood pressure, and my eyesight was starting to go. I realized that the other day that my eyesight was going back then as well. Anyway, so I had all these dietitians and the doctor's advice and all these things, forcing all this. The only thing I can remember is all these grapes I had to eat. I hate grapes. And now knowing it's little pockets of sugar shoving down your throat, and you're set up to fail from the start. Yeah. And it's something that, again, some emotional trauma that we have to get over and leave that behind, because it happened. You can't change it. You can't go back and change it. But it does feel like you were set up to fail from the start. Because in 3 weeks with a dietitian, I would come back to her and have picked up 3 kilos.
Yeah, that's the same story. It's terribly difficult not to be angry at the mismanagement of one's health.
Yeah,
so it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you've found a way, and that so many people have found a way to be passionate about this. Of course, what happens is that people are angry and they become overzealous and they become polarizing in their they're wanting to fight the system, which is healthy. That's why it's called a revolution. It's a real revolution. But at the same time, of course, we have to move beyond that and find much more meaningful ways to work together with the system to change things for the better. So, and try to be less polarizing, perhaps, and more accommodating. But it is very hard. It's very difficult. I was very angry when I realized how many people had given me the wrong information for so many years.
Year after year after year, going to the doctor and say, please help me, I'm picking up weight, I'm not getting pregnant, I feel terrible, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Eat less, move more, and drink more water.
Yeah. And of course, really? I mean, we're the lucky ones because we're sitting here talking about this, but there are millions of people who have lost their lives because of misinformation, including Tim Noakes' father, who, that's why he went on this journey, because his father had a terrible death from diabetes, that had he known what Tim knows, he would have had a healthy, long life, as Prof Noakes is going to have, because he's reversed his diabetes.
That's it.
So it's very complex.
Yeah, we've actually got a similar sad story like that, because my husband's stepdad had the diabetes and the heart disease and all these things. And we watched this man lose his mind, literally lose his mind. You know, he had the 5-way bypass and he was on the medication to stop smoking and he was on insulin and he would just give up, have his chocolates, you know, that gotta have it. And then, of course, pumping insulin. And so he eventually shot himself because he couldn't handle this anymore. Can you imagine the now knowing what I know now, how much it was damaging his mind and soul and body, all that medication, all those hospital visits, all those operations, what this man actually went through. You can understand a bit more because now you know better. Yeah. So, and we could have
very complex. It's, you know, there's I mean, it's a huge area to look at in terms of ethics, is how actually one deals with those decisions as a medical professional, you know, guidelines versus what you know to probably be what's going to save that person's life. And of course, we have people like our own medical director, Hasina Kaji, who couldn't do it anymore and eventually ended up leaving her dream job because she just couldn't send people home to die, which she was doing. So it's a really complex thing, and I really feel strongly for all of the amazing medical professionals that I know, because you're taught one thing and then you see evidence of so many other ways of doing it that might be a lot better, but you're also tied to your profession and to the expectations around guidelines. And to have to make that very brave, bold, difficult choice, you know, as a non-medical professional, it's kind of easy because you can just go like, oh, screw it, I'm going to try this. But they are really, really ethical people that want to do the right thing and want the best for their patients. And they're stuck in a system that doesn't support them with that, particularly in America, where there's so much obsession and focus on medication and not enough interest in the actual lifestyle and person that you're treating, because for a number of reasons. You know, and all these wonderful brains that are so inquiring and so bright and have so much vision and passion are just stuck in a medication cycle and a sick care cycle instead of a healthcare cycle.
That's it. Yeah, I think a lot of them have their hands tied actually, and it is up to us. It's up to us to do change. Yeah, I think the people of this country also need to bring on change and support that change. It's not always up to the professionals to do that. Let me just put on my lap.
But that's why South Africa, you know, South Africans are quite easy and quite revolutionary. And that's why we're kind of one of the hubs of the low-carb movement in the world, because we've been really outspoken about this. And a lot of our medical professionals, including Prof Noakes, who really took that first brave step, risked their careers and said enough. So
that's it.
The rest of the world has to follow, and we're trying to offer them ways to do it that is supportive, and, you know, kind of gentle. Because it takes fierceness to make that change.
It does, and the thick skin as well, I think, because he's had some backlash. He's had some incredible backlash that you would never even have thought would happen. Yeah. And I actually watched all the trial videos. And there's so much to learn from just those videos. And the like I said, the backlash that he had to go through, you got to have a thick skin. But I think South Africans are innovative. They are ballsy, like you say. They have got they are incredible people. South Africans are incredible people.
Yeah, and we've got a lot to be proud of.
And they will. Absolutely.
So Candice, who's the project manager for the Nutrition Network, and I were at the Public Health Collaboration 2 years ago, where Prof Noakes was giving a keynote speech, and someone in the audience asked where you could buy low-carb bread in the UK, and no one knew. And this was an audience of like 300 people that are all low-carb experts and leaders. So that's how far ahead South Africa is. I mean, for years, we've been able to go to a restaurant and there's normally a little Banting menu, and we've been able to buy those things in supermarkets and products like yours that are incredible and tasty. So the rest of the world's got a long way to go still. And we're really lucky because we've been at it for so long, very much thanks to Prof Noakes and his vision and his bravery.
Yeah, I think a few of us would still be where we were if it wasn't for Prof Noakes, if he wasn't so outspoken and so passionate about what he's doing as well. Yes, I've got a lot of clients in the UK as well, and in America, And they ask me, but where do I get this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. But I can teach you how to make it.
Yeah, very difficult.
So,
And that's why we've been saying to the affiliates for years that we wish that they would get their products into Europe and America, just so that people had something there. But I understand it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah, and the costs as well. So at this point, the best option for our clients overseas is to learn to make. Okay, so let me see. Please, can you share with us more about the Noakes Foundation, Nutrition Network, and the Eat Better South Africa? Anything you'd like to share about them?
I think I've talked quite a bit about all three of them. Obviously what we do at the Noakes Foundation is we really focus on the research and on work that Prof Noakes does. And within Eat Better South Africa, our focus is very much, as we said, about eating better. And I know Jana beautifully explained Eat Better South Africa when you spoke to her. And then on the Nutrition Network side, we very much work with the medical profession and with people like yourselves that are coaches and that are experts in the field. So quite a different environment, as you know, very much around the education, and all of these things have been responsive to what's been needed. So we really, Better South Africa, it came very much from a commitment and love for communities, to give this work back to them and to find ways to actually just take the benefits of the Banting Revolution to communities that don't have private medical aid. And for the Nutrition Network, it came because we had so many people writing to Tim Noakes asking him for Banting advice about their gout, their sleep, their neuropathy, their sleep apnea, and we didn't have medical professionals that we trusted had the science to refer people to. And obviously Prof Noakes isn't really or he's not a practicing doctor. So we wanted to just build a little army or a little referral pool that we could send people to in South Africa. What we didn't know is that the rest of the world was watching what we were doing, and that actually our business had become very quickly an international business with an American and European focus. So that was surprising and lovely to experience. But of course, that means a whole different journey of gearing up the business in different ways. So we do a lot of different things, and we're very lucky to have such an exciting and diverse range of projects and things to work on. And as I said at the beginning, it's about the people.
It's exciting, it's busy, but the Nutrition Network as well, because it's online, everything that's being taught is online. So anyone anywhere in the world can do the advisory course like I'm busy with, and the professional course, which is more explaining to the doctors how to what it is and how to help their patients. I've done that one as well. I'm quite excited to go on and do a few more, so that I know what these courses are. And I've forwarded to a few doctors as well, and a couple of nurses, because you guys had the nursing one on special this month. So. And it's great because it's online, so you can do it from anywhere. But the information is absolutely incredible. And for me, that's dyslexics. I love that there are actual lectures and the paperwork to back it up. So for me, that's so much better. To sit and listen to someone. And
what we've wanted to do for quite a long time is actually make it real and move into the real world with it. So we were exploring something with an academy that trains professionals in Cape Town here, and we've really wanted to create that face-to-face contact. And then obviously Corona came along, and we didn't have to change anything. And it kind of was like it said to us, okay, you will stay doing what you're doing and you must be online. And that's the path that you're taking. So it's been wonderful because we haven't had to change our business in any particular way to accommodate for what's happened with COVID-19. So and we're in a position where we can help others. So we've actually just extended it in a way where we're going to help other people build courses if they want to do what we've done and to take their knowledge to the world through e-learning, which is the new way of, it seems like it's the new way of studying. I'm not sure about it. I mean, I think about my son who's 12 now, and I think like, will he actually ever have the university experience that I had, where I was on a campus? And, you know, it seems like the world's moving so much more online, but at the same time, what we really want is connection. And we can find it. You know, I can really feel you and connect to you here, but I would love to give you a hug. Maybe we'll find ways to do that in new areas with the mask for the next while.
Yeah. Well, like I said to you, I would love to just give some people a hug at this point in time. Where are we now? 65 days or something like that? I could really use a hug. But yeah, no, online is amazing. My son is 17 and he's been doing online homeschooling for almost 5 years now. And he's got his own little community with things that they paint and things that they do. And he's got his own little world, actually. And they're knowledgeable. And these kids are actually exchanging, they're learning from each other as well. And they are in different countries. So I think that is actually the future. But you still chase them out and go and hug someone.
Get into the real world.
Get into the real world as well.
It's a very, very interesting journey of balancing, that real connection with online connection. And we don't know found all the answers yet. So we've just decided to launch a journal club, which is going to be an online journal club, which will allow members to have the experience of a journal club where case studies are shared and where communities of practice are built. And that's one way that we kind of bridge. But again, we also want people in the same rooms together in local communities, understanding local needs. So it's a very, very interesting time that we live in, and we're finding new ways to do it.
Again, this is where the ballsiness of South Africans come in. We can solve any problem, and we can find a way around anything as well. So, Jayne, for a last, is there any last thoughts that you would like to share with us? I know your time is very, very precious. So, something that you would like to share with us?
We've talked about so many interesting areas. I think it's really, really, I would like to actually say that, you're an example of why we created this affiliate program and why we work with businesses within Eat Better South Africa, is because there's a need for people like you to be in the commercial retail world, changing the landscape, and it's not easy. So I just want to honor you and all of the business owners that have actually, it's very difficult to, retail is such a monster to itself. And to the creativity and the commitment that it takes and the perseverance is massive. And we've always kind of believed, affiliates make each other better. So the vision is to find ways to make each other better and to support each other. And for us, that's very much about having products that are better for people to eat, and that's what you're offering. So we want to find ways to work together in that area. It's really important. And thank you for everything you do.
It's a pleasure. It's something that we do to help. I do it to help my clients and to help people eat better. Eat better, South Africa. So there we go. Jayne, thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you for your time. I know it's very, very precious, and we absolutely love that you were here today. And thank you so much for speaking with me. Maybe one day soon we can do it again.
Lots of love. Have a good day. Cheers.
Thank you, Jayne. Go well. Bye. Bye-bye.